What's on, everyone? Right, it's good waves today. It's really nice waves. Sun's out, it's like head high, offshore. I'm gonna do a little review video. It got me thinking after the last BP video, I questioned whether I should be off my shortboard. Like, what is the point in a shortboard for me anymore? So today's the day I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna surf my BP mid-length, performance mid-length, and I'm gonna surf my trusty shortboard, the 6'2 Doofer, and I'm gonna compare. You know, it might not be the fairest comparison. I might get better waves on one or the other, but let's just have a go. Let's just see what we get. Mid-length versus shortboard. Let's go. Maybe the first disadvantage or advantage, I'm picking the mid-length first. Just feels friendlier, probably harder to paddle out, but it's I'm stiff and I just need to get a few waves under my belt. So mid-length first, and then I'll come in and grab the shortboard. Right, just got out on the mid-length, didn't really get any good waves, had fun like surfing the board, but it feels like you can see it out there, there's definitely some good waves, I couldn't seem to get on the end of one. But anyway, it's now the Doofer's turn. I've warmed up, get the classic out there, get the Old Faithful out there and see what we can do. It's so hard to test boards, because if you don't get good waves, you don't know whether to blame the board or yourself, the ocean. Woo! Well, one thing I didn't really anticipate about doing a board versus board review is I have to surf twice. I'm knackered. Right, so just got out on the shortboard. Tide started dragging out, so it's harder to get some waves. Got a couple, so as ever, get back to the factory, have a little look at the footage. The thing I noticed straight away is the obvious stuff like duck diving is easier and it's a lot more twitchy. It wants to go, but then there's those sensitivities that make it feel sort of nicer on a turn or under your feet. Also hinder you if you're a bit tired and you're a bit heavy footed, like bogging rails and stuff. I did it a few times. I felt myself on waves just sort of mess it up, whereas BP Mini might have got me through that. But yeah, let's go and have a little look at the footage after a pizza and crack on from there. Right, we are back at the factory. We've had a look at the footage. Shout out to Ed, because he didn't miss any waves. So I've got nothing to blame for my rubbish surfing, like he didn't miss my best waves. So we did a review, mid-length, shortboard. Can I make the mid-length for my shortboard, or do I get rid of my shortboard? Well, it was just a surf to have a little check of what the differences were and if I needed both. So the things I noticed the most is it's really hard to review boards when you don't get good waves. There were good waves out there. Okay, so the main differences between the two for my two surfs was I definitely caught more waves on the BP Mini. What I think I'm getting at really, the differences between the two is that I can probably do my best surfing on this board. I can probably do the absolute high end of my surfing turns, my most critical turns, my once in a blue moon perfect turns on a shortboard. But when it's waves like today where I'm just not kind of having that best wave magnet on, I'm better off on this thing, I really am. It just caught me more waves. You can see it in the footage. I'm not getting good waves on it and I'm not like ripping on that thing, but I am catching more regular waves. And then I get on this thing, my mindset changes to trying to get a better wave anyway. And then when I get the same waves as I was getting on this one, I was probably falling off more on the Doofer, and it probably wasn't being as forgiving as I needed it to be for my ability level in those sort of waves, having that sort of a surf. So I feel like this should be my regular board for at home, for everyday surfs. But I do still love that thing. It paddles so well. It duck dives amazingly for it being a higher volume board. And I do feel like I can surf it. I don't feel like it's too much board for me or it's too high performance for my surfing. I just feel like this is friendlier and easier, and that's just where I'm at right now. So I feel like I would take this one on trips, or if I get to surf for a regular amount of time. Like, I haven't surfed since last week. This is my first surf in about a week. waves have been rubbish, haven't had time. But if I'm going on a trip, say to Ireland, I'm taking the Doofer for sure. After 3 surfs and I feel like I'm surf fit and surf savvy and catching the right waves, on that I'm gonna have a great time. But for everything else, this kind of just makes it easier and fun. So for me, dad of 3 who doesn't get enough time to surf and has periods where he doesn't surf, then I'm gonna have to be picking this, even in good waves. Even in good waves, that just feels like I can surf it. So to summarize, this for everyday life, all day. This is gonna be retired for my good wave, regular surf, possibly a surf trip vibes when I'm on point and I'm ready to shred. For everything else, BP Pro baby, that's where it's at. And then my small wave board is my BP Mini 6.8. Yeah, so anyway, next video, Luke Dillon, shout out to Luke Dillon, British champ 2022, just happened this weekend. Now he's the English champ and the British champ in the same year. He's back, he's got a cut on his foot that he needs to get healed, and then we're gonna go do some filming with him on these boards as well, and see a real surfer carving it up on these things and giving you a proper review on the what we can do, or what that board can do in our UK wave. So stay tuned, video out soon. Ciao for now.